Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm just gonna tell you that I've already filmed this video. Clearly not this one, but I've filmed a book haul, and then I realized that on my book bingo from hell, one of the spaces for 2024 is to read 70% of the books that I haul. And I wasn't really keeping track of that. I haul a lot more books than I thought. So let's just get into it. We're going to start with the two that just came the other day. I just opened them yesterday. And that is The Hacienda by Isabel Canas. This is a horror novel that was recommended by a lot of booktubers. And I'm trying really hard in 2024 to find what I like in horror. So that's why this one's here. Then I didn't like any of the options for book of the month this month. So instead I got a backlist title. This one is This Spells Love by Kate Robb. What if one little wish changed everything? And it was a choice in November of 2023. I haven't read any of them yet because I just got them. I also haven't read this thriller yet. This is The Other Family by Wendy Christie Staub. The Watcher knows who you are and what you did. It's a psychological thriller that follows an entire family that moves to Brooklyn from San Francisco. And then I think that they get a stalker. Then there's The Hidden by Melanie Golding. Again, I haven't read this one yet. This is another psychological thriller that follows this woman who is reunited with her toddler after her toddler escapes from the house. And the police are just like, oh, it's just a case of, like an escaped, or a toddler running off, no big deal. But I think that it was a big deal and that the police should have looked more into this matter. I still haven't read any yet. This is The Life She Had by K.L. Armstrong. How far would you go to protect it all? This follows this woman named Celeste Turner, I think. Celeste. There is an intruder or like a stranger in Celeste's backyard, and she doesn't know if it's an intruder or a stalker or if it's just someone who's like lost. Okay, these next two books I have read. Woo woo! So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first 5 on the list are unread. But the next 2 I have read. And I'm trying to get to 70%. I don't think we're there. I think I'm very much off, but it's okay. We have A Spot of Trouble by Terry Wilson. This was okay. It was like a romance between Violet and Sam, which I didn't really buy the romance aspect, but I did really like the dogs. I think that, but Violet's like so spoiled that she thinks that she can be the only person in the Turtle Beach that has a Dalmatian. And when Sam comes to town and he has his own Dalmatian, things get complicated. It was kind of silly, to be honest. I didn't recommend it. I think I gave it 2 stars. Then I also read First Light Wins by Ashley Elston. I know everyone is loving this right now, but I'm not. I didn't love it. I think, again, I gave it 2 stars. I don't really like con people thrillers, though. It was boring to me. Okay, back to this one, which I haven't read yet. This is Jaws by Peter Benchley. Everyone knows what Jaws is. This one, I read it. I'll link the vlog up here, so go check it out. This is the Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig. So a third one that I've read. Oh, and I have also read Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. That's also in that reading vlog, which I will be linked. And I also read The Safest Lives by Megan Miranda. I believe that this one is in my Winterween reading vlog. I will figure out which reading vlog it's in and link it. Okay. Then I have also read Mallory by Josh Mallerman. This one was most definitely in the Winterween reading vlog because I have vivid memories of reading this, so I'll link that as well. Then The Ancestor by Danielle Truzany. Again, that will be like the Haunted House reading vlog. I will link it, but I have read it. Then I have not read. There are a lot of classics that I'm about to haul. I haven't read any of them, I don't think. So there's Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. Didn't read it. The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. This one's fairly small though, and I think it would be a really good read for October. Unless there's like a Spring-a-ween or something. Spring-a-ween. You know, like the Halloween reading vlog and the read-a-thon in the spring that Gabby usually does. If she has one of those, I might read that for that vlog because, well, Gabby loves The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. So maybe, you know, I have options. Then there's The Call of the Wild and White Fang by Jack London. I'm only counting this as, I guess I should count it as 2 books because it's 2 different stories. And I'm not going to sit down and read the whole thing all at once. But yeah, I haven't read that. But one that I have read is Unqualified by Anna Faris. I bought this, I think at the used bookstore, and read it immediately. I'm counting this as read, but technically it's DNF'd. So this is The Edge of Sleep. I tried it. I didn't get like super far into it. Okay, so I got like 30 pages in and I'm not interested. It's a dystopian. It reads like a young adult dystopian about not going to sleep, and I was bored. I can't do it. So I'm officially unhauling this one and DNFing it. Yeah. So I'm going to put it in the red pile because it's no longer on my TBR. Sorry if that annoys you. Then we have The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain. Oh, I have not read this yet, but I'm really, really excited to. So this follows this woman named Carly. Okay. When Carly, a young woman widowed by the Vietnam War, receives the news that her unborn baby girl has a heart defect, she is devastated. It is 1970, and she's told that nothing can be done to help her child. But her brother-in-law tells her that perhaps there's a way to save her baby. What he suggests is something that will shatter every preconceived notation that Carly has. Something that will require a kind of strength and courage she never knew existed. Taking a leap of faith. All for the love of her unborn child. I'm pretty sure there's also like time travel, and so it's kind of sci-fi, but it's Diane Chamberlain, and I read one Diane Chamberlain last year and I really enjoyed it. Plus, Gabby has been talking about this book for years on her channel. So if there's a summer ween, or a spring-o-ween, or whatever you call it, that I might read both of these. I know that The Dream Daughter is not super scary, and The Haunting of Hill House is, but maybe during that week or that weekend, I can just read kind of like Gabby and count that for winter, or for whatever ween it is, if that makes sense. Then I have Silence for the Dead by Simone St. James. I think this is ghosts, and it follows like two timelines. I think it's 1919 and 2000. I'm not entirely sure at all what's going on in here. It's just Simone St. James, so I picked it up. But I haven't read it. Another one that I have yet to read, but it's super short, so I don't think it'll take me long to read at all, is Ring Shout. This is an alternate history book in which the KKK are like monsters or creatures of sorts. Then I haven't read this one either, but this is Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. It's like a campy type horror novel inspired by Scooby-Doo. Alright. Then I have two romances. So that I have 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I'm really scared to read this one because it's very, very hyped on BookTube, or at least it was when it came out. I believe that these two are, I think this is Second Chance Romance. I believe these two are writers and they're on some kind of writing retreats. This one I'm not sure where to put it because I am halfway done with it, but I haven't finished it. So I guess for the sake of this video, I will put it in the unread pile, but this is The Long Game by Elena Armez. I think that Elena Armez is not the author for me, and I might just have to be okay with that. Then I have The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Lavelle. I have read this one, and it was a 5 out of 5 stars. It's a horror novella, and it's weird. It gets so weird, and I can't tell you how without spoiling it. I didn't really love everything that happened in this book, but I loved the overall message, and it just hit me so close to home. So it's kind of like an emotional horror novel. Yeah, I would classify it as an emotional horror novel. It's a novella. It was like, I fell asleep reading it, got to about page 60, and then woke up in the morning and finished it before work. It's a lot about racism and living in New York in the 1920s, if I remember correctly. I'm not entirely sure on the date, but I just remember how this one made me feel, and it made me just like, I almost cried reading this, but it was so good. Then I also have read Privacy by Nina Sadowski. Just pass. This was so boring. So this is about a therapist whose patients are going through some tough things, and it looks like someone is targeting her patients. And it is so abundantly clear what is going on if you've ever read a single thriller. And it was just so anticlimactic that I hated this. I will be unhauling it at the end of the year, but it was awful. Then another one I haven't read yet is Catch-22 by Joseph Healer. If it is a classic, you can just assume I haven't read it, unless I tell you differently. Again, another one I haven't read is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Morally gray characters. This artist makes this painting of Dorian Gray, and Dorian Gray didn't love it, so he ended up murdering her. But then the brother of the artist goes after Dorian Gray. It's about revenge. It's about madness, and it actually does sound good. Okay. Then I have Daphne by Josh Malerman, which I have yet to read, but I'm getting that it's kind of like, you know, the old urban tale that if you shut yourself into a bathroom and you turn off the lights and you say Candyman, 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 or Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, then she'll pop up or he'll pop up and kill you. I think that Daphne is kind of like a more modern take of that type of situation, but with Daphne. Then I have What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. This is a reimagining of Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher. And she's pretty short too, but have I read her? No. Okay, so the first one is a classic. This is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. I want to read this and watch the movie because I've never seen that movie before, and do like a reading vlog of it. Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austen. This is a fast-paced, hilarious, and ultimately hopeful novel for anyone who is ever worried they might be a terrible person. Check, check, check. From the best-selling author, everyone in this room will someday die. Okay. That's morbid. But no, I haven't read that one. Oh my gosh, I have read one of them. Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham. This is a story of female friendship. This is a story of obsession. I loved this. I think I gave it 4 stars. But it's definitely a great thriller. And I read it in 2 days? 3 days. I read it in 3 days, but it was so addictive. I love Stacey Willingham's writing. Like, I haven't found anything that she's written that I haven't liked yet. Okay. Then we have Rosalie Palmer Takes the Cake by Alexis Hall. This is in this scrumptiously tender, laugh out loud novel. Single mom Rosalie Palmer is determined to bake until she makes it to the top of Bryn's favorite feel-good baking show. Ooh! And then I'm pretty sure it's like a romance. That one sounds cute, but it's also kind of chunky. Then I have If You See Her by Anya Alborn. This is a haunted house book. This is also listed in the 101 novels I need to read before I'm murdered. So I'm trying to collect some of those books so that I can do another reading vlog, reading some of the recommendations. But I haven't read it yet. Okay, and the last one that I have not read is The Last Post by Renee Carlino. Last year I read Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino, and I thought it was okay. I really enjoyed the writing, so I wanted to read another book by this author, and that's why I got it. So I'm gonna add up how many books I hauled versus how many I hauled and read, and then we're gonna find my percentage, but I'm really scared looking at these piles. Give me one moment. In 2024, and of that 36, I've read 12 of them. So I actually have to do 12 divided by 36. I think it's gonna be like 30%, or like a third percent. So is that like 33%? Okay, and then I'm gonna multiply it by 100 because that's how you get percentage. It's 33.33333%. And my goal is to read 70% of the books that I haul in the year of 2024. Am I really gonna get to 70%? Either my book buying needs to go down, or my reading needs to go up, or both. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. I will see you in the next video. The next book haul that I have, we will keep up these numbers. So I think for you, it's gonna say read 12, unread 24. But to find your percentage, you have to actually add them, which is 36 books because I've hauled 36 books in 2024. And then you have to divide the number of books that you've read by how many you've hauled. And I've read a third of the books that I've hauled this year so far. But it's only February. I can get that number up, she says so confidently. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys later when I'm not so ashamed. Who am I kidding? I'm not ashamed.